Well, lipids are also known as triglycerides. We'll see why. So if I were to give you an opening statement, triglycerides are made of three fatty acids. So fatty acids I'm going to shorten as Fa, that means fatty acids, and one glycerol. Fatty acid, three fatty acids, and one glycerol. Those are typical triglycerides. I'm going to draw a typical triglyceride here. That is your glycerol, and one, two, three fatty acids. Pretty simple. Then you have the variety of molecules known as I usually use purple whenever I talk about these things. Then you have another form of lipids known as phospholipids. Phospholipids. You might have heard phospholipid bilayer. You might have heard of the phospholipid bilayer previously. The thing with phospholipids is it's almost very similar to the triglyceride. There's a small change. They are made up of only two fatty acids. Still, we do have the glycerol. And here's the thing. We have an excess phosphate group. Phosphate group. What exactly is a phosphate group? You remember that PO43 minus thing? That's the phosphate group. That would be the phosphate group. So how would that look like? So we have the glycerol. Okay, no issues. We have only two fatty acids though. Instead of having a third one, the bond has been replenished, and now we have a phosphate group attached to the front of it. This is the actual structure, but most of the time phospholipids are represented like this with the two fatty acid tails like this. If you see a structure that looks like this, that is a phospholipid by a good measure. Now, the fatty acids are carboxylic acids, organic acids. Fatty acids are carboxylic acids. The glycerol, what do you think? What ends with all? Glycerol is an alcohol. Glycerol is an alcohol. Now think back to your organic days. I'll use orange. What do you get when a carboxylic acid reacts with an alcohol? Therefore, the reaction is, what do you get? Acid plus alcohol? An ester. Do you remember about esters? Therefore, the reaction is called an esterification reaction, and the bond formed is an ester bond. Nothing different from organic. It's the exact same things. Carboxylic acids are the fatty acid type. Alcohols are the glycerol type. Glycerol is the alcohol type. Fatty acids are the carboxylic acid type. When a carboxylic acid reacts with an alcohol in the organic family tree, what you get is an ester. The process is known as esterification. The bond formed is an ester bond. An ester bond. And if you recall, still, when these reactions happen, still water is going to be lost. Therefore, this is a condensation reaction. Say condensation reaction. Let's go through the bond line structures here. Okay, this is your glycerol. It's very easy to draw the formation of glycerol and fatty acids combining, thus a triglyceride. Okay, C3, and these are all H's. And these are the fatty acids, C double bond O, acid tail, C double bond O, acid tail, C double bond O, acid tail, and we have another OH on the left hand side, like so. Let's distinguish that bond a little bit better. Right. So what happens? OH reacts with OH. A water molecule is given off. Water molecule, and you can see you get a total of 3H2, 3 water molecules, and then you just join the bond line structures and form the final fatty acid. Not the final fatty acid, the final triglyceride, where these bonded. So I'll show you one. Go away, you two. My God. Let's get rid of all of this. One oxygen remains, and that is your bond. Okay, that's basically what happens. I'm gonna leave everything as they were. Nope. Nope. Like so. I was trying to get back the O. My canvas flipped. Right, H2O. Let's talk about a little bit of lipid functions. Back to yellow. What exactly are lipids good at? Lipids are good at the storage and release of energy. Basically, your adipose tissues are mainly lipids or fat. That's why you get fat very easily. But there are benefits to it. Now, I'll tell you something from my experience. Now, I don't really have a lot of body fat, so I usually get cold very fast. Meanwhile, I have friends who have a certain percentage more of body fat than me, but they don't get cold easily, especially when under air conditioning units or in a cold place, like cold climate or weather. I get cold very fast. My friends don't. So there are perks to being fit, and there are perks to being fat, and there are perks to having too much adipose, and it's a balanced world, I would say. Simply speaking, fat adipose tissue helps in insulation, and also that's going to help you protect vital organs. All your organs are going to have a fat layer around it. For example, the heart is presented like so, the liver, the kidneys, they're all protected like this. And finally, fats are a transport medium for vitamins. Those vitamins are K, A, D, E. Vitamins K, A, D, E. That's basically fats.